King Charles says the support he has received since his cancer diagnosis has reduced him to tears. Here is Royal Insider Patricia Treble, who joins us with more. Patricia, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And the King is sharing some of the over 7,000 cards and letters that he has received from literally around the world.
Amazing. I mean, you just see the mailbag after mailbag after mailbag. And look, everyone knows somebody who's had cancer. We all know what it's like to go through that. We always, you know what it's like to just keep somebody's spirits up. But I mean, yeah, he has been so touched by it. He actually had a big selection of the cards put in his famous red leather boxes for him to read, personally read. And everyone who sends in a card or a letter, they all get official letters back from the palace thanking them. But I think it was just a lovely touch. And it's also the video that they released for this is just a way to keep him in the public eye because, of course, he can't do public-facing engagements right now.
That's really nice, and I feel like, again, this is another moment we may not have seen with his mother. Yeah. You know, they're just, they're pulling back the curtains a little bit.
Exactly, and you know, he's still what do they call informal formality. And I think this is it. I mean, you know, he's still wearing the suit and tie and the whole schmozzle. He's still
in his pajamas.
He's not in his pajamas. He's still the king, but he's obviously having fun and he's enjoying it. And he wants to recognize what the public is doing to say thank you to the public.
For sure, for sure. We also know when the banknotes featuring the king will be out, right?
So, I mean, you've got the fun stuff, but you've also got the serious stuff. So a lot of people don't realize the king has to approve banknotes and coins in Britain and in Canada. And so the new banknotes the design is out for the Bank of England. They're coming out in June. And they're going to they slowly will take the Queen's images, the ones with the Queen's image, out of circulation. And I don't know if you guys have noticed on the coinage here, but I just got quarters the other day, and they've got King on the other side.
Yes,
they're out.
It's begun.
Yep, it has begun here. And we've got commemorative coins. So he had a Privy Council on last week. They approved George Michael coins, James Bond, and Star Wars. We're going to see the Death Star on a coin. Now, this takes this is the first step in a long process. So.
But those are collectibles.
Very interesting.
Collectibles. Okay. Yes. Yes.
All right, meantime, there's been a social media outcry after it was revealed that Colonel Johnny Thompson has been replaced as the King's assistant.
Exactly.
Talk to us about this.
What?
Exactly. So, very handsome. So he's the equerry, which is the military aide. You're usually on a 3-year secondment. He did a lot of high-profile stuff, the coronation, the funeral. You saw him around a lot. Right after the Privy Council, the Prime Minister has his regular weekly audience with the King, normally completely private, but of course this is not normal. So they allowed cameras in, and what everyone notices, the military aide introducing the Prime Minister was not Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Thompson. It's simply his secondment's up. He's still doing work at Buckingham Palace, but we now have a naval officer doing the job. So everyone, but social media went nuts.
Well, sure. Sure, and so they should. Let's talk William for a second. He's continuing royal duties while Kate continues to recover.
Yep. So kids are back at school. He's back at work. So he announced a whole bunch of new houses being built on his Duchy of Cornwall, which is the ancient hereditary estate that he has, to comfort homelessness, especially in rural areas, which is a big problem. The big news, though, was he released a very carefully worded statement about the situation in the Middle East, about his hopes, about his worries, and it went right up to the line of politics, but didn't go over. And it was, just so everyone realizes, they don't do these in a vacuum. This was seen and approved by the government because, of course, it has impact on politics. Very well received. And so he's going to be doing a lot of engagements in relation to what's happening in the Middle East now.
All right. Well, William has been very busy with royal duties in his father's absence. We're also getting word that Harry apparently is willing to take on some working royal duties as his father continues his cancer treatment. And Patricia, how is this being received? Yeah,
so this was a trial balloon in the Times, and when it went up, I kind of went, how on earth, after 3 years of basically bashing his family from one end to the other in all the media, it was not received well. Immediately shot down. Basically, there's no role for him to be a working royal. It's one thing to restart his relationship with his dad, but to be a working royal, that ship has sailed. And then we've got, more eyes were raised this week because remember that interview that he did at the Invictus Games with the ABC? It's been turned into a documentary, and it's airing on Hulu, which is owned by Disney, which owns
Which is
ABC,
not Netflix.
which is not Netflix. And everyone's like going, wait a second, because Netflix did a documentary on the Invictus Games with Harry and Harry's deal with that. So a little bit of eyebrows raised as to how exactly that happened.
All right, more to come there. Patricia, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.